Hello, this is Jordan Clark from the Backyard Bucketlist, and if you're like me, you like making videos with your family or friends, but sometimes you wish the footage was a little bit more cinematic, a little more interesting. Well, here are 3 quick tips to make your vlogs more cinematic. Let's get going. So the first thing we're going to talk about is multiple perspectives. So just like when you go to the movies, you typically don't see just one camera shot for the whole entire scene. Typically it's balancing between different views, different perspectives. Sometimes they're close up on certain accents, wider view, and give you a different perspective than just one static camera. So you may be thinking, well, Jordan, typically when I go out and film, it's usually just me with my camera. So how do I get multiple perspectives of what is happening? And a quick tip for that is to do the activity multiple times. To give you an example of this is a year ago was my son's birthday and we went to Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk and he rode on the roller coaster with my wife. She's definitely his comforts and he chose her over me, but that's okay. But what we did was rode on the roller coaster 3 different times, and what this let us do is get multiple perspectives. So the first time I was riding in front of my wife and my son, and I was able to film them on the roller coaster, get their reactions, get their excitement, and that was the first time him riding a roller coaster, so I want to make sure I was capturing that on camera. The second time, my wife and Quade rode around by themselves, and I stood on the side, and I was able to film them going on the roller coaster, but from a different point of view, from the side view, watching them ride it. And then a third time, I was able to get a couple of close-ups of the roller coaster going up the chain track. And because I was able to film it 3 different times, it allowed me to edit it with a lot of different perspectives and make it more interesting than just us riding it with a view of us the whole entire time. Here's how the clip turned out from a year ago. Hope you enjoy. The second tip is to have foregrounds between your subject and the camera. So easy way to do this is if there's a bush in front or maybe a fence or something that's just in front of the subject, and instead of raising your camera up so you can't see the foreground at all, bring it down a little bit, focus on your subject, and then you get that foreground nice and blurred and it creates a little bit more depth of the image. And that is a very easy way to make your image and composition a lot more cinematic, more interesting. And then the third tip is to use slow motion. This is one of the easiest things you can do from taking a normal footage to make it look a little more interesting. But be careful, don't make sure to overuse it, because sometimes if you use it too much, it takes away from the emotion of the scene and can get a little bit repetitive. So use it when appropriate, but it is an easy way to make an image look more cinematic. One of the easy ways to use slow motion is to film in 60 frames per second. If you're out doing lots of activity and you're not sure whether you want a slow motion or not, just film in 60 frames per second and it gives you that leeway to make it slow motion in post. And if you'd like to learn how to make any of your clips, whether it's 24 frames per second, 60 frames per second, freeze to about 10 times the slow motion, leave a comment down below and I'll make a video on that. Really easy to do, but not a lot of people know that trick. So if you want to learn how to do it, just leave a comment and I'll make a video on that. And then bonus tip, this one is pretty simple, but if you don't know, in your timeline, you want to set it to 24 frames per second. and that will instantly make your clip look more cinematic and less like a home video. Typically, your camera will default to 30 frames per second. Sometimes it may be at 60 frames per second, but when you're watching a movie, they're only at 24 frames per second. This is one of the few times where more is not better. Set your timeline at 24 frames per second, and that will instantly make your video look more cinematic. Well, this was a super quick video, and if you'd like to see more videos to help you create memories through video and photography, make sure to subscribe and like this channel. Hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.